Maybe they're going to take them with them, I guess.
They are really awesome.
They are.
Fair. Like, this just seeing the team logos
so
just come out in that.
they're good.
Yeah.
Because nobody really does that.
You know exactly what it communicates, and it's so minimalist in a sense that it works quite well.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Moscow 5 as the blue team on your screen right now. 1-0 up against SKE Gaming. Starting to get their power back on, and they kind of have a team comp that they really seem to agree with. It's that resiliency. Curse seems to be onto something. You know, I've always said with Moscow 5, the way to beat Moscow 5 is to be aggressive against them. Curse have that sussed out. They've just never really managed to make it work. And for the first time, I believe, they've managed to make it work. They may get a hook here. If we can pan the screen just up a little bit, you can see the Kale is just there. If he edges down... Oh, Nif. Oh, Nif. Oh, Nif. Oh! Flashed out of the hook straight away. And the reaction time now is just like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble.
It's strange because he must not have had vision around the corner, because I feel like Ghosty Pepper could have blind hooked him, and here it comes.
He's not going to have the hook back.
Didn't have the hook up for another 5 seconds. You can see the cooldown in the bottom left there. So
showed themselves a little early, and actually, I think they're going to go for a counter invade here. I'm seeing Aranea down the bottom. Is he going to think of going for red? You can see he's just pivoting on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, SK are going to go around the long way down towards this bottom lane.
And look at the caution there. They're hugging the sidewall because they know, especially now that Nif has no flash, that blitz hook would be absolute death.
So Darian going to top lane. You can see he's backing off. So it's going to be a standard bottom lane for Moscow 5. We do see the counter
SK is invading. Yeah, so Aranea going in there. Want to pan down bottom. I think the whole crew is there aside from Kale. And N5 didn't actually back off, so they're probably going to trade blue for red here. And then it's going to be very interesting to see what the lanes actually hash up. No, actually we'll see it fairly simple. Darian going to be up top lane against Kevin. And they're trading blue buff for red. So doesn't look like a fight. We might see some kind of collision as SK and Moscow 5 work towards the bottom lane, but they get seen by that ward. So
there we go. It's going to be really interesting. Gosu Pepper's going to bump into him. There they go. Gosu Pepper comes down straight into the bush. Gosu Pepper's in trouble. He's not going to be able to get out of this one. He flashes through.
Mana shield.
He's got a mana shield. Oh, and he nearly landed the hook straight away. Now Alex is in trouble. They're going to turn the damage on towards him, but immediately Genja responds and puts a lot of damage down on Candy Panda. He can't avoid through the push there because obviously the eyes that you get on from the
Phosphorus bomb.
Phosphorus bomb will show you going through that bush. That's the exact word I was after. Meanwhile, go to the mid, please. You can see the Ocelot getting curled on. Diamond Prox putting the damage down on Ocelot. Very aggressive start from both teams, but everybody levels out. No advantage gained. Blue and red exchanged. Everybody returns to lane.
That was the collision that we thought was going to happen when they did make it, and what ended up happening is a couple flashes were burned. Exhaust got burned on Nif. Overall, they really just traded one summoner spell for another, and now we can see this bottom lane really starting to hash itself out. You got to say Candy Pen and Nif get a bit of an edge because Ghosty Pepper was sent back to shop, but they didn't really take anything off that, so it looks like fair trade, restart at level 2 almost for that lane, and game on.
Also, Aranea actually used his smite. Junglers are meeting actually. The junglers are fighting back and forth. You can see Alex Itch is coming around there. Diamond Prox caught out a little bit, but if Alex Itch gets and joins this fight, he might be able to get a bit of damage down. Ocelot didn't join him. He's actually brought the siege minion with him, so he's going to put a bit of damage. Aranea doesn't have smite right now. Hasn't taken his red, so he used it on that blue steel.
And Ocelot sitting on 2 minion kills, getting caught out by Nocturne early really kind of set him back. And these junglers are brawling back and forth. Here they come.
So Aranea coming around to Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox backing away with that blue buff of his own. He doesn't want to let his own one go. And now you can see Alex Itch is starting to come across here. They've also got Kale coming down. Jax is now heading down here. The blue is reset. Could they collapse on him? Alex Itch, what level is he taking? Has he got the slowdown? It might be enough. The flash was burned. Darian isn't going to get the stun on him. And they will all return to lane once again.
So much roaming early on in this game for no benefit, really. It's been a bunch of engages, and then people kind of end up flashing away. RNA and Diamonds both really wasting a bit of their time. You can see the junglers are putting themselves behind, fighting with each other so much. They're both out of health potions. They're both under 10 minion kills. And finally, it seems like they're picking up their buff. So Diamond Prox was able to get his blue buff. Looks like RNA is able to get his red buff now that he's smited it. But with this is dead even close early on.
Well, the problem is actually that he's got both blue buffs and he's got both red buffs.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
So both junglers are a little bit still. I don't have the.
I mean, what would you be happier with, a double red or a double blue?
in all honesty, in this match, with how many summoner spells have been burned already, I would be happier with double red. But I think what's going to end up happening, since they've already kind of expended themselves ganking, is the double blue is going to be better. Because blue is better for farming the jungle than red buff. And Diamondprox might pull himself a little bit ahead because of it.
So we'll see whether that is the case. As Diamondprox goes back to bite, has to get himself a chunk of those health pots. Actually didn't get any health pots, just went straight Berserker Greaves. Wants to get aggressive.
Nocturne heals up a huge amount from his passive, and the Berserker Greaves is a pretty good first buy. It's something we're seeing a lot more of on these Nocturne players. So he's going to look to hit level 6 almost as fast as he can here. Might try for some pre-6 ganks, but I actually kind of doubt it. RNA, got to be careful for Darien. Wow.
He goes straight aggressive, actually turned into Darien, puts it down, immediate flash, Darien just pops him where he stands. That was a mistake there, I feel. You know, he went aggressive, used the Crescent Strike, really thought he was going to knock him away, but Kevin was not reacting quick enough, and I don't think he was quite expecting the Empowered Strike to do that much that quick.
I think that was also one of those cases where you realize you're 2v1, so you get kind of fake strength in a sense, and he didn't realize he was below half health at the start of that fight, and the Darien had Flash and Ignite up. Terrible lapse of judgment there, and a great job of Darien capitalizing on that play.
Genji being forced back a little bit there. We just saw one of the hooks from Gosu Pepper not quite landing. Those hooks can be quite important. As it is, we have seen already Candy Panda return to lane, so you can see he's actually behind in the CS. That's mainly for the fact he's been back to buy, picked up that Doran's Blade. Double Doran's Blade picked up by Genja, so slight advantage there. Gosu Pepper takes up away, and they're going to go on towards Darien. RNA is going to go down again here. That second bomb is going to be going. It's going to be enough. The bomb will finish him off. It's going to be a kill for Moscow 5 once again. Alexej picks this one up with the assist, and immediately the snowball could start.
This could be really bad for them. Having 0-2 on your jungle, and this is what's happened to SK in both of the games that they lose. Once RNA falls behind, the laners aren't that good at winning on their own in a sense, and RNA needs to be able to babysit those lanes and help them out. Once he's started 0-2, that double red buff, only having the Doran's Blade, it's going to be so hard. All the other lanes look to struggle off this.
Full dive coming down the bottom here. Diamondprox is there. Alexej is there as well. He's going to get the Fear Leash on towards Nif. Oh, but it turns him towards the turret. It can be so random. Sometimes it can turn you against him, but this time it saved him. And Ocelot tried to take advantage and get the race. Didn't really feel confident enough, though.
And SK does seem to be playing a little bit scared. Can't really blame them when all their aggression ends up getting turned around on them, but Darien, even supposed to be the matchup, he picked up that red buff off of RNA, and he's been able to turn that back onto Kayle. I mean, I said that the Kayle was a great pick against the Jax, but then I remember there's a Kayle-only player, actually, right? Someone who's just very good at Kayle. And he actually says Jax is one of the weaker matchups. Anyone who can actually get on top of Kayle and trade damage well is a good matchup against him. So even though Kevin picked it last, it may not have been a very smart pick against Darien's Jax.
And just how confident was Darien there? Just to go pick up the red buff. Oh, he's just going to smack Kevin in the face. He's going to force the flash. Leap strikes back on it. Counter strikes down. He might be enough. He has not got his ultimate available. So he did have his ulti.
He was out of mana.
Oh, he didn't have the mana, of course. Wow, and I was just about to say, Darien was so confident in the fact that he got the red buff and just came strolling back past. It's like, hey, got your red, see ya.
Oh, Ocelot trying to get damage on Alex, but really just wasting his ultimate, and he pops a health potion. And now that RNA can't really support his lanes, that Kevin has essentially lost the lane to Jax already. And then you look bottom, and the Corki Blitzcrank versus Nif and Candy Panda. Here's the gank on Ocelot.
And that's Ocelot, a dead man. There's no way he's going to get away from that one. The bomb's enough. It finishes him off. Alexej picks up the kill, and the crowd goes wild. We did talk about the fact that Moscow 5 are actually supported by the French crowd. The irony is they didn't make it to the finals. The first time they've really been supported, I think it's safe to say.
Even then, we got over 100,000 viewers for the third place game on Chelsea Lane. And people, this is a match people wanted to see.
It is,
in all honesty. Yeah. So it's a third place game, but these are two very well-known teams, and they are going to battle it out against each other. So Moscow 5 still has a chance for Bitter Redemption, as does SK. And you bet it's almost more important for these teams not to finish last, I feel, than to finish third. And that might be what they're playing for here.
Now, in terms of these hooks, you've got to assume it's Nif he's going to be plumbing to get, but I haven't really seen the hooks landed yet from Gosu Pepper. I mean, it's often called, and he did go for Candy Panda again. Why would you go for Candy Panda when he can Arcane Shift out of it? When Sona generally is just such a plumb target to grab.
In all honesty, I'm not sure. I think Candy Panda is making himself presentable, and Gosu Pepper's just going for it. It could just be just the damage. He's maxing his rocket grabs, so he is getting fairly good poke. But Nif's going to sustain a lot of that back up, being Sona, so it's not really winning them the lane, but even then, they're up in the lane, 73 to 62, so it's not really broken and they're winning every other lane. Should still probably try to pull in Nif, though.
Yeah, that top lane seems like it's in trouble to me. Despite the fact the farm looks close, I feel that Darien definitely has the advantage over him. Alexic dodging out the way of Ocelot's ultimate there, trying to put the damage down on him, but just doesn't seem to have enough to trade right now. And here comes Ocelot in trouble once again because the Wraiths are being invaded just to the side of him. You can see Diamondprox in there taking the Wraiths, and this is Diamondprox. This is the Diamondprox we expect to see. In the base, taking everything away, taking anything from the jungle. Darien the same, he just comes around taking the red. So often he did that back in the early days of Kiev, etc. with Shyvana. And there we go, he's going to come around.
Actually, try to trade this a bit.
He's going to walk straight into each other. They're going to trade. Meanwhile, you can see Diamondprox was not expecting that one. Has to use his spell shield, or whatever the heck the thing's called for Nocturne. It's not spell shield, it's the same damn thing though.
It's the W.
It's the W. Is that what you're going to call it? You're going to check. He always makes himself look smart.
The Shroud of Darkness.
He goes and checks. Shroud of Darkness. Of course, that's what it's called. Ocelot catching on towards Alexic there, but they're slowing the bomb. Is it enough? They're going to dive in. They're going to finish him off. Ocelot is going to go down. It's Alexic once again. Ocelot is in all sorts of trouble in that bottom lane. Genji now continuing to put the big bombs on Candy Panda as well. And as it stands, Moscow 5 starting to get very dominant here. They're slowing the bombs on towards Aranea again. That's going to take him down to about half health. He can't stand a trade with this one. Moscow 5 continuing to put pressure on that mid turret.
And this is just seemingly going to be a too difficult recovery for SK because without
he might finish him.
Wow, he's just going straight in. He's
used his ultimate and gets the bomb and then just uses his ultimate, comes back to life. Very, very clever play from Alexic there. I guess every Zilean player would just be like, well, that's normal.
I mean, but this is also why Curse didn't allow Moscow 5 to get Zilean because they're so comfortable playing this style. Alex just diving into turrets. They're roaming extremely well. They're staying in fights where the other team's judgment wouldn't quite be there. I mean, way back in Season 1 at the start of Season 2, with no changes to Zilean, Zilean was permabanned on NA servers. Yeah. And then people kind of learned to play against it, and there's certain things that you kind of do. Just the way you fight against a Zilean is so much different than the way you fight against a normal team. Low health targets suddenly aren't something you dive in for. Kills just don't seem to come where they should. And unless you're very used to playing against a Zilean, it catches you off guard. And since we haven't seen it really widespread availability
the lately, last time I remember it is Salsa at Gamescom 2011.
SK doesn't know how to play against it, it seems.
Well, I don't think they knew how to play against it back then either.
Yeah.
It didn't work out so well for them. Ocelot's in trouble, though, and again, it's going to be Diamondprox diving on him. Is the damage there enough, though? Aranea comes around, has to use his ultimate to bat them away from Ocelot there. Alexic is going to continue chasing. He uses his speed buff. Instead, he's going to put the damage down on Aranea now. He's in trouble because he's got the double buff.
They're doing the dragon while they're doing this.
They are doing the dragon. Let's have a look down towards Ghosting Pepper coming around. Candy Panda and Nif tried to come around, trying to force something, but Moscow 5 too strong right now, 6-0. And 12 minutes 43 into this game. The dragon goes down and the gold advantage stretches once again to 5,000 gold. Candy Panda has to arcane shift away from this one. Ghosting Pepper looking greedy and maybe trying to pick something out of it. The blue buff taken away. While this is all happening, nearly got the true shot barrage across.
Just tried. Yeah, they're trying to split push the top lane. Alex is just in between the inner turrets. And this is a matter of, we talked about the SK Gaming tilt in a lot of ways. They're so emotional that they're not the best at coming back when they get the slightest bit down. First of all, there's a jump between the finals and the third place game where they have kind of time to recover, but the really short instance of time in between games, they really just seem to be completely on tilt at this point. No one really seems to be communicating together. If we had the kind of the player cams, I'd almost imagine not many of them would be talking with each other because this is a moment where you don't really have any ideas on what to do. It's like, you want help in your lanes, but your jungler is more far behind than anyone else, so going into lanes is most likely just going to feed more kills. It's about trying to find opportunity, but it's just not there.
You know, more often than not, I see with these teams that every time Nocturne does get picked, he actually does pretty well. I'd love to see the stats on him, certainly from MLG, and maybe from a few teams lately that have been maybe on a lease patch or something like that. Whenever he gets picked, the kills tend to follow up. It's obviously never the same from solo queue because the team is there to follow you through. That's going to be the power fist on towards Nif. Oh, wow, a big whiff on the Katarina ultimate there. Katarina trying to get onto it. Ocelot trying to get the kill. He does manage to get the one down. True Shot Barrage missing across Ghosting Pepper. They're going to turn this bomb back around, trying to flash out of the damage, but Diamondprox going to be very aggressive. Has got the wriggles, but is not going to finish it off.
Here
comes Alexic coming around the back. Nif is in trouble. Nif is dead. Nif is dead. Forget about Nif. It's Ocelot now is going to be the target. There's the exhaust going down. Puts the Zilean ultimate. He's happy to tank up the turret, take the damage. Ocelot's got to be careful. He's going to come back up. He could put 2 bombs down.